1, 2, 3, come on!
Well, hello there, and welcome back to Let's Think Geek. I'm your host, With the Flow, and thanks for tuning in today. For all of you that have been here before, thanks for coming back. For all of you that are here for the first time, it's lovely to have you. Hope you'll be back in the future. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you've gotten a little bit of a hint yesterday, and then a little more, on the nose hint as to what we're going to be talking about and kind of chatting about today, sharing with each other, kicking some ideas around about. And yesterday I threw up a picture of all sorts of things. There were some comics, or some movies, some video games, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, some Magic the Gathering cards. And, I asked, what do all of these things have in common? These, various geek verses. And there's a couple of clever answers, got some interesting messages about it. Some people got very close, but weren't quite there. And the thing they all have in common is they're all ways people choose to escape reality for a bit, to take a break from things, to mentally vacation without having to pay more than whatever, you paid for the intellectual property. Not condoning theft of any kind here. Don't take that way, please. We're law-abiding semi-pirates around here, so be cool, everyone. But all of those things, from tabletop gaming to video gaming, comics, visual media, all sorts of things, they're mechanisms of escape. They're mechanisms of guided fantasy. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Sounds fancy, right? Anyway, we all need a little escape in life every once in a while, and we all find it in different ways. And that's a perfectly healthy thing. I think we should all work and strive towards finding healthy, adaptive ways to take breaks, to escape, to relax. It helps with your general health. It helps with your mental health. It can help you to find new ways of approaching things as you engage in fantasies, because it tends to pose ideas you've seen before in new ways that are less connected, easier to digest. Also, sometimes it's just fun to not be wholly connected to the reality of everything. And we live in a day and age where there's a booming market in escapism, because I think there's a general realization that a lot of life can be relatively mundane, boring, and stressful. Work 40 to 60 hours a week, you clock in, you clock out, you do your grind, you go home, and all you want to do for, a certain period, at least I would assume most people, is just kind of forget about the stress of work, of life, of it all. And so we all work to find ways of just finding that release. For me, that's always been, as I'm sure you can guess by now by kind of taking a quick peek around me, Star Wars. And, for me, it's always been one of those universes that is so easy to just almost insert yourself into. It's such a blank storyboard in ways that as you watch it, you recognize so many of the common plights of a lot of things that you go through. Isolation, stress, loneliness, the desire and want for greater and bigger things. And it's an established enough universe, in my opinion, that it's very easy to just kind of fall into. For me. For other people, that universe might be Star Trek. They might really enjoy the ideas of y'all got a fancy name for your fleet, and I promise I know it somewhere deep down in there, and I'm probably gonna have someone come for me, but you might like the ideas of the good guys and the non-military military organization that, I'm so sorry, I'm trying my best and it's gone, so we're gonna move on before I keep digging this grave. And so, inserting yourself as a crew member aboard the Enterprise or whatever other ships there are in that universe, I need to study up. Dear Lord, what have I done? Might be more your bag. For a lot of people, especially in my generation, there's Harry Potter, where they were able to identify with Ron or Harry or Hermione in their educational point Like I said, especially, like I said, with my generation, those books came out while we were at that age range, and so there was a lot of identification. It became very easy for people to use that as their form of escape. For some people, that might be video games or, grinding out RPGs, playing things like Red Dead Redemption or Skyrim, and really building this almost alternate life where they control that stress. It's a form of perfectly healthy escapism. For some people, it's music and creating music or listening to music, deep diving lyrics. For the ladies, it could be your makeup and how you choose to express yourself visually. For us guys, it's not as acceptable of a thing. I don't wholly know why. Like, dudes that do makeup, rock that. Own that shit, bro. Do you. If it makes you feel good and it helps you deal with the day-to-day stress and feel better about you, that's a wonderful thing. You know, if a girl you know or a lady you know goes for that bigger look, like that's her really reaching to that point of escapism to an extent in a very visual way, and that's a wonderful thing. That takes bravery, that takes courage, and guys that do it, same thing. That takes bravery and courage, yo. And so, my point is that there are lots of ways that people choose to take breaks from reality, if you will, and to escape from it, and that's a great thing to do. It's important that we not let that become compulsive and overdriving, because at the end of the day, real life exists. You know, you've got to go to work, you've got to take care of business, your family, your pets, whatever your responsibilities in life might be. Those should never be secondary to a hobby or form of escape, or you've kind of missed the balance and you're no longer escaping, you're living in an alternate reality, and that's not healthy for you, it's not healthy for those around you. Like, address that. I'm not going to point any fingers at any specific community because they exist in every community. It's not one community over another that is more prone to being over the top than other. It's people within that and how they choose to express that. And you should support those within your fields of interest so that they one, understand that bound, and two, feel supported in what they're doing, just like I'm sure you want to. Yeah, you at home, right there watching it. Everyone wants to feel supported in what they do. Everyone wants to feel connected in what they do. And these geek verses and these forms of escape, especially in the day and age of social media, especially on the wide scale that it is so easy to connect with others that share your passion and your mechanism of escape and can help teach you more or incorporate it into your life in different ways, better ways, new ways. And that's a wonderful thing. Engage in your hobbies. I'll take all the flack in the world for it, but I actively engage in Star Wars because it's something that means something to me. I try to balance that with real life. Like, I by no means can spend the money I wish I could spend on my form of escape because I'd probably be absurdly broke and buried in collectibles at this point, that's not a good thing. I get that. Yeah, I collect, I invest, I do my thing, but I try to make sure that real life around that is taken care of. And in this weird symbiotic relationship, Star Wars helps me with that. When I'm just kicked low by life, when I just want to curl up in bed and not do it anymore, I turn on Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The movie is my jam. Quite possibly the best Star Wars, aside from horribly unpopular opinion, Rise of Skywalker. Oh my god, I love Rise of Skywalker. I need it in 4K at home months ago. We'll get there soon, my friends. But I turn on Episode 3 and just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the movie. I don't watch for the plot holes. I don't look for where it's wrong. I just enjoy it. I just fall into the universe. And it's something I learned to do with this movie, and it's a mentality I generally take into any new media. Just enjoy the ride. I don't take a political ideology into most things. I don't take my personal baggage into whatever created universe I'm going to indulge in, be that John Wick, be that a romantic comedy, be that a new book. I try to just simply go into that experience simply to experience what escape it has to offer. Because someone is sharing a form of their escape, their vision of that fantasy with you. So enjoy it. And if you want to create your own, absolutely do that. So, what I'm doing here and now with you is trying to create my own escape, my own way of dealing with all these extra thoughts and obsessive fantasies about geek culture that I and lore that I have go on in my head on a day-to-day basis. So never assume that just because you enjoy something you can't create within it. You absolutely can. Find a way to do so. If you're a builder, find a way to build something for your universe. If you're a writer, write something in your universe. If you're, visually inclined, you like to make movies, make skits, design costumes. There's so much that you can do with your time and in your life to enjoy it, especially when you find that harmonious balance of something you really enjoy putting that time and passion into real life. It all starts to flow just a smidge better. And that's a wonderful thing. Again, never let a hobby, a release, become a point of anger, because at that point that's failed. And I'll give all of you the same advice I give my son, and it's something that, as I've had to teach him that, I've had to remember that, and I've really tried to push this more in my life. But some of these things that I watch him do, he'll get incredibly competitive in. Video games, sports, things like that. And it's a wonderful thing. I love his competition. But there are times he'll get angry at a point where he'll just grind on an accomplishment for so long that he's now at a point of frustration, of anger. And I'll remind him, buddy, no game should ever lead you to a point of rage and anger. And I like my own advice there, and it's something that, even though I like it, I'm still learning. No hobby or no engagement in life should push you to a point of rage. And if you're getting to that point, reassess it. Find something different. Maybe you've outgrown that interest. Maybe you've outgrown whatever that hobby might have been, and you need to explore new horizons. Find sources of inspiration in life. It makes it so much more bearable when you have a way to release and escape from what life has to offer sometimes. And for some people, the escapism isn't a fantasy world. It isn't a sci-fi universe or a fictional universe. It's the world around them. Their escape is the outdoors or is practical creation, and that's a great thing. Everyone, I can't stress this enough, everyone deserves to have something that they are passionate about and makes them feel good at the end of the day, and you should absolutely work towards supporting each other in that. In the immortal words of Gus Johnson, boys support boys, and girls are boys, and boys are boys, and everyone's a boy, as long as you all support each other. If you got that negativity in your life, get rid of that crap. You don't need it. You don't need something that makes you angry, that makes you feel excluded or left out, because there are plenty of ways to be included in what you like. Sometimes it takes a little bit of looking, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and sometimes you might just have to make it yourself. But at the end of the day, it's so much more rewarding when you do create that for yourself, when you do carve that niche in your fantasy and your escape out for yourself. If that's being the best fisherman in your region, if that's being the absolute deepest Star Wars lore nerd ever, being a Harry Potter fanatic that knows everything, whatever your escape is, be the best at it, but manage your life so that the two complement each other and you create symbiosis in life. Yeah, I could probably keep going on and on about how great it is and all the wonderful things that having healthy outlets and healthy escapes have done for me. Like I said, I have those days where I just need to kick on something that I can fall into and inherently enjoy, and I encourage all of you to find that. If that's a favorite record or CD or 8-track or whatever invokes that right nostalgia and happiness for you, pursue that. Enjoy that. Don't let anyone ever take that from you or make you feel belittled for what you enjoy. Never belittle another person. You can never request a treatment that you are unwilling to give in life. So always support those that are willing to share those passions with you, but pursue it yourself as well. I hope all of you can find something in this message, or I don't know, maybe it'll prompt more questions. Maybe you think I'm a daydreaming idiot that deals with life like a child. I don't know. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The great thing about YouTube is down below there's a comment section where you can let me know just how much you agree, disagree, like, dislike, whatever about what I had to say. If I ramble, talk too much, let me know. Can't change, can't learn if you don't talk. That being said, obviously, feel free to comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you disliked it, hey, go for it. Hit that thumbs down. It's going to happen eventually, right? Subscribe, tune in for more random rants in the Geekverse, chats about life, ramblings and philosophy about this, that, or the other. One of these days we're going to build something. Got a few ideas down that vein that I think you guys would particularly enjoy, but we'll see how that plays out. For now, I've been your host with the flow. This has been Let's Think Geek, and thank you so much for your time today, folks. You have a wonderful day.